Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tiger Talk Tuesdays here at CSN Studio. This show is by Tim Guida over at Five Forks Insurance, your State Farm guy. My name is Grayson, and I'm here with Jay, and I'm here with Clif, who will appear on the screen shortly. For those who don't know, I am the newest bunch of the CSN staff, and I'm also the host of the Name of the Plan podcast. Here I have Jay, Crazy B, my guy.
What's up, everybody? Nice to be here. Great to be a part of the Clemson CSN universe, and we got a great show for you tonight.
All right, we got tons of stuff to talk about today. We got Robert Billings, Hunter Johnson, Deshaun Watson, a bunch of stuff that we want to cover today. We're very thankful for all that stuff. We're also brought to you by Arden's Burgers and Grill. A great spot, some great food that we're going to actually bring out pretty shortly and have a little bit of some appetizers while we're talking some ball. Jay, let's start with Robert Billings' commitment to Clemson. That was one of the big things that happened this week. Rivals has him as a four-star safety. There's a lot of sites either high 3-star, low 4-star type thing, an athlete that can come in and make an immediate impact. What was your initial impression of this guy, and what do you think that means for the 23 class as a whole?
I think it was great that we picked him up. We needed some safety depth for sure. Even though we got Makumba, and he is, as we know, the ACC Defensive Player of the Year. And I think what we're going to see out of Billings is going to be some high intensity. He loves playing man-on-man, and he's not afraid to get in your face.
Yeah, he's certainly one that is going to certainly make an impact soon. We keep talking about the 23 class. It's continued to impress. They continue to roll out guys. They have 18 commitments so far in this class, and we've plucked Billings from Georgia, another one of these pipeline states, most notably UGA in that state. We've plucked guys like Peter Woods from Alabama. A lot of these places, what does that really tell you what Clemson does, especially a year like last year where a lot of pundits would consider it, I have used air quotes, a down year type thing.
Yeah.
We still have our coming out strong. These recruits are sending a message that Clemson is the place to be. What's your initial impression?
My first thing is I go back to when Dabo, the media days, basically said, kids are not coming to Clemson because it's the ACC. Kids are not coming to Clemson because NIL. Kids are coming to Clemson because it's Clemson. They want to be a part of something special. And that's something that I think Billings and the other recruits have come in and decided, hey, I want to be a part of something special. I'm not afraid of the narrative out there. I'm not afraid of my coach out there doing a giddy, trying to raise money for the women's breast cancer research. I want to be a part of something special. And that's exactly what Dabo is building. And it's something that he is a national brand. He has took a small public school and has created something that is a top 10 brand in the nation. And that's saying something, folks. That's not, we're going up against Ohio State, Alabama, teams like that. We have got that kind of brand now, and that's what's going to help us in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. What Clemson's been able to continue to do this decade long, and even more than that, this continued string of success, top recruiting classes, national championships, all the stuff that Dabo's built. It's his house, and a lot of people want to be a part of it. So what do you think in terms of this class? Which player most excites you? Who are you looking towards? Like, I want to see that guy on campus as soon as possible.
Noble Johnson. I'm the wide receiver out of Texas. I think going into Texas with Texas and Alabama heavily after this young man and going out and getting him early. And there has been no talk about flips, no talk about anything else. He is 100% committed to Clemson. Noble Johnson, to me, is going to be the next T. Higgins. And that's saying a lot right there. T. Higgins was just a monster on the field for Clemson, and he's right now for the Cincinnati Bengals. They call him 30 and T for a reason. You can put your trust in him. And I think Noble Johnson, to me, the wide receiver, is going to be the one I'm really going to be excited to hear and watch.
He's certainly going to be one. Like Vizina, certainly done a lot of recruiting. Something that I'm really excited about to see is his leadership as a whole, not just in terms of what he's been able to do with getting these guys, but on Twitter, you've seen recruits. He's like, hey, getting these little tidbits out there. I'm excited to see what his leadership on the field and off the field is going to bring to this class. Another big thing that we're really excited about here at CSN is fall camp is starting this Friday.
Amen.
Football is here. It's coming. I'm just so excied about it. You can't put it into words, and we just want to welcome Clif on the screen. How you doing, man?
What's up, Clif? Glad to have you in here now.
What's going on, y'all? Had to get the whole stream started. So
amen to that.
Yeah.
Clif, how you doing, man? What were your thoughts on the Robert Billings commitment before we move on to fall camp?
Man, I thought it was great. Something that Clemson really needed, and it's going to be a good 2023. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, man. I was super excited for fall camp. It begins this Friday. We'll be here to cover it for for sure. Jay, Cliff, you guys been here a lot more often than I covering these kind of things. What are your impressions? What are you looking to see? Is there a player or a storyline that you're potentially thinking about? What do you want to see happen on Friday?
Well, if you're talking to me, everybody knows the elephant in the room is going to be the QB battle. Yeah. Everybody has got their opinion on who should be the starting quarterback, when the starting quarterback should be replaced. There is so much going on right now as far as the QB, but you know what? I think something that a lot of people are also talking about is Wiggins. Wiggins. Everybody was ready to see Wiggins, the quarterback. Also, don't forget about Fred Davis. Fred Davis, also the other quarterback. Everybody is saying that that's the weakest part of our defense, and I'm here to tell you, if that's the weakest part of our defense, we're in great shape going into this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I talked to Connie, who said it's rare for a guy at Wiggins' length to be that quick and be able to turn on a dime. Says it reminds him of certain NFL corners that he's been able to coach. You think of guys like Booth, think of guys like Mackenzie Alexander, guys that have made impacts in this league. Booth already making an impact at Vikings camp. If he's comparing Wiggins to these kind of players, you got to be excited about it. For me, I'm really excited to see how this wide receiver room improves from 2021 to 2022. I'm looking at guys like Dakari Collins, Will Taylor, Bo Collins, seeing how these guys can take what has been a lot of noise this offseason on the inconsistencies within the passing game, how DJ and that group are going to continue to improve and make these strides moving forward in 2022. What about you, Cliff?
Man, I'm interested in that, and I know a lot of people are asking this question, but offensive line. Everybody's asking that question. Just listening to Thomas Austin talk, I'm interested to see how good he is as a defensive or an offensive line coach. You know, he's a former Clemson player. He's been there under Dabo, and so he knows everything Dabo knows pretty much. So I'm just interested in that offensive line.
Yeah.
And when it comes to quarterback, like. I mean, everybody's asking that question too. I have this massive confidence in DJ, and I think he's going to have a rebound year.
Yeah, we talked to DJ at Charlotte at ACC kickoff, and just the more the confidence when he's talking to the media, because there were a lot of questions thrown at him about his performance, and he took it all in. He's been hearing it a lot this offseason. He was hearing it a ton during last season when they were going through these type of challenges. It looks better. He's going to play better. I'm super confident about his mojo going into fall camp. I'm looking for him day one to take that and just say, hey, this is the new DJ. You guys remember freshman year? I was Boston College. He had to put the team on his back and lead them behind a deficit in his first start as a college freshman, going into Notre Dame, South Bend.
Boston out.
Unbelievable.
I mean, most yards in from an opponent's quarterback in Notre Dame history. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, the potential's there. We're all really excited to see it. We're all behind him, especially the work that he's put in this offseason. Jay, you excited? How excited I am about DJ and his performance and what we're going to be able to see at fall camp?
I think what we're going to see is a whole different DJ. Everybody can talk about his weight. Everybody can talk about, his where he came into last year, where he took responsibility for everything that went on. He didn't shy away from it. He's my fault. And this year, what I want to see from DJ is I want him to be able to hit the receiver with the ball. A lot of times last year, we found out that it wasn't always DJ's fault. A lot of times receivers went the wrong way. A lot of times people fell. There was a lot of different things that went on. Last year also, we had a depleted wide receiver group. There was a ton of injuries that happened on our wide receivers.
I mean, you had a lot of football team injured.
Yeah, 23 season-ending injuries. So, but we can't make excuses. We still won 10 games with basically the third string playing. That tells you a lot about what Dabo has done with this school and with his team. So what we're looking at right now is we're going to be seeing DJ going out there, being precise. I think in Georgia Tech, the first 4 series is going to tell us what we're going to see with DJ.
Yeah, and there's a lot of continuity, too, that we have with Streeter. We were able to kind of see a preview of what he was able to do in the Cheez-It Bowl, get that established continuity, get that momentum into the offseason, saying, hey, this is what we can work on, but this is also what we're doing good. This is also what we can do better at. Very, very excited to see it. That continuity that you mentioned is going to be important to start off on the right foot. You got games like Georgia Tech. You got games like Furman, Louisiana Tech. Those are those first 3 games that I'm looking for him to get that kind of established continuity, saying, hey, these are mostly based on our talent. These are some inferior opponents here. Let's get some plays going. Let's get some established things going. What are we looking forward to? I want to talk about Hunter Johnson, though, real quick.
Yeah.
We asked Dabo about Hunter Johnson at the Clemson Media Day, and he usually brings a lot of energy. He usually smiling, looking you right in the eye. He felt like he was ready to jump out of his seat and just give you a hug about Hunter Johnson. He said it's rare to have a quarterback room like he's had. Got DJ, obviously, who won 10 games last year, ball out places like Notre Dame. Cade Klubnik, 5-star coming in from Westlake, super highly touted prospect. And obviously Hunter Johnson, who's been at Northwestern for a couple years but has come back home. 5-star quarterback, super talented guy. What are your expectations for Hunter Johnson? Maybe not necessarily for playing time, but what he can bring to the quarterback room.
I think it's just leadership, man. Just helping DJ, helping Klubnik, just showing them the way, letting them know the way, you know.
You know what, Hunter Johnson, I was a big Hunter Johnson fan when he first came here.
Yep.
And as soon as we saw Trevor Lawrence come, a lot of people just forgot about Hunter Johnson. They forgot about how great he was, how touted he was coming into Clemson. And you can't fault him. A lot of people got mad when he left. It's like, well, he just didn't want competition. That wasn't the truth. That just wasn't the truth. Hunter Johnson went on to Northwestern and was put into a system once he got there that was not to his talent range. So therefore, he did not get the chance to be the Hunter Johnson that Clemson saw. So, you know, we all know that Hunter Johnson might not see the field this year, but what Hunter Johnson does give you is that leadership. He's been in bad games. He's been in great games. He can come in there. He can tell Klubnik, hey, watch what DJ's doing. This is what you need to do if this is you in a particular thing. Or, you know what I'm saying? He's going to bring that particular leadership to the team. And that's something that they need. They need that leadership in the QB room, because if he wasn't there, look at the room right now, what we would have.
Yeah.
And you just cannot put a price, or you can't put a label on what Hunter Johnson means right now to the Clemson quarterback room. And that's why Dabo was so happy to have him.
Yeah, in the age of transfers, in the age of NIL, it is so rare to have 3 quarterbacks who you could really plug into each programs across the country and say, hey, he could start here, he could start there. Maybe Hunter Johnson could have gone off to another ACC school and said, hey, I can get all 12 games, I can get to the NFL type stuff like that. But he chose to come here because of what Clemson's built, that leadership and that continuity. It reminded me a lot of Jalen Hurts with Tua at Alabama. Jalen Hurts had all of the, he was benched to the national championship. Tua comes in, wins the game. He's the hero. Jalen Hurts is instantly forgotten in the sense.
Yeah.
He stays that year. He rides it out. He rides the bench, helps Tua out in his development, says, hey, this is what I'm seeing. Bides his time, keeps his head down. And maybe, I'm not saying that's trying to jinx or anything like that. Disaster did strike for Alabama. Tua went down in the most pivotal moment of their season, and Jalen came in the SEC championship, led 2 scoring drives, came in when he was needed. That experience, being able to study film, being able to watch all that. He's got game ready. It's not like we're throwing in a guy with 0 games played in his career. He's a guy that's been there, done that. He can come in, he understands the offense, and he can make plays, just like Hurts did.
Yeah, and it's rare. I think it's rare, especially in this age, that you see a quarterback transfer out of a college and then come back to the same college.
Exactly.
And know that he's probably not going to see the field. He's just there for experience.
Exactly. And also at that, a lot of people always say, well, Dabo doesn't use the transfer portal. Well, guess where Hunter Johnson came from? The transfer portal. And Dabo, I just want to make, I know this is kind of going off a little bit, but Dabo kind of explained the whole transfer portal thing at the Clemson Media Day. He was saying it's not like we haven't offered guys that were in the transfer portal. They just didn't choose to come to us. But what I like to do is I like to develop high school players. That's what Dabo is known for, developing high school players. He wants to give a spot to a high school player more than he would a transfer. That doesn't mean he doesn't want to transfer. If there's a player there that gives him what he thinks is a Clemson fit, I'm sure he would get it. Or if they decide to also come. So, I mean, there's 2 different factors when it comes to that. But one thing that I think Dabo has really done is he has emphasized getting high school players, developing them, and also, if they're not put in the league, guess what? We got Paul Journey. Paul Journey helps them get into whatever they want to get into. And Paul's Journey, something else I found about it, 100% of the players that are in Paul Journey find the jobs they went and got their degree for.
Yeah, it's something that it's a developmental program, not just for football players, but for developing yourself as a person off the field and on the field.
Exactly.
And that is based on Dabo's trying to preach to Clemson, saying, hey, we could go 6-6, or we can go 13-0, 15-0. Regardless, I'm going to run the culture, and I'm going to run Clemson the way I want to. This is his baby. This is how he's run it, and he's had a lot of success. So I don't see why he should really say, hey, maybe I need to change things up now. He's doing a lot of stuff different with the official visits in June and stuff like that, but he's still at the heart. Clemson is going to be Clemson.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I want to talk about Clemson's schedule. Obviously, with fall camp coming, there's going to be a lot of games that we're going to circle on the calendar and say, hey, let's look at this team. Let's look at that team. Jay, I want to start with you. Is there a team on the schedule that you're looking for going, hey, this is the matchup that fans need to be aware of as we head into this fall season?
Well, a lot of people say it's always the first game because you're going to get an idea of what's going to happen. But for me, November 19th, Clemson versus Miami. You do not realize how many people are ready, especially Miami fans. Miami thinks they're back.
Yep.
Miami thinks they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. Miami thinks Cristobal is the greatest thing that's going to happen to the state of Florida. Well, guess what? You're coming into Death Valley. And Dabo Swinney, as we know, has been undefeated in Death Valley for quite a long time. I mean, we got the longest win streak right now in college football, but we also got the longest home winning streak in college football. So when it comes to playing in Death Valley, it's a whole different thing. But at the same time, we want to encourage all the Miami fans to come to Clemson because we'd love to have you. We'd love to bring you in, let you tailgate with us, enjoy that game with us, and know that, hey, we at Clemson enjoy every single fan base. So make sure you come to Clemson, enjoy it with us, and hey, who knows? You might see me and Grayson out there doing the tailgating show. You never know with us, and Clif too. So hey, we're going to be just about everywhere this football season. Soccer, baseball, you name it, we're going to be there. We'll be doing some live remotes. So just get ready for us. But for me, I think the Clemson-Miami game right there before South Carolina is going to be one of the biggest games. Hopefully it'll be college game day because hopefully both teams are going to be the same teams that will be meeting in the ACC championship game. So to me, it's going to be Clemson-Miami.
There's a lot riding on that potential matchup, like you mentioned. It could be college game day. Get Kirk and the guys down there for maybe potentially a night game in Death Valley. Who doesn't love that?
Bring on the night game. Bring them on.
Chills, man, when you get to talk about it. But I want to talk about what that would mean for the programs of Clemson and Miami. I think potentially we could be seeing a ACC championship preview depending on how things line up within the schedule, how Miami starts to develop as their own program with Cristobal. I'm excited to see Clemson face up against these marquee brands and kind of how we stack up, because that's going to be one of those teams like Notre Dame, NC State, Wake Forest. These guys have started to establish themselves within the conference. Miami's going to be one that's always had, they're going to be up. Well, can they stay on that? Can they be consistent? Because they've had years like in 2017 where they had, and guys like Derek King come in, they've been up, but they've been able to stay consistent. Cristobal's a great coach, and I think what he built at Oregon was super special, but he's going to be able to do a lot more at Miami with that brand, and especially with NIL, get kids to come down there. I love that kind of matchup, and I love that you brought that up for sure. Cliff, what about you?
Mine's NC State.
Exactly.
Oh, I just can't tell you, man. It's a revenge game, and all I can see is their head coach puffing on a cigar after the game, and I'm like,
exactly.
It just irritates me, and I don't know. I really don't have any stats or anything like that to push out there at you. That's just one. I think it's going to define the Atlantic.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a super important matchup too. They're coming to Death Valley. What was really catching my eye about this, and I'm glad you brought up NC State as that game. They were super confident about how their attitude towards Clemson was pretty much almost 180 in a way at Charlotte. It was kind of like that monkey finally got off their back. They're like, we've been there, done that now. We can totally do this consistently on another level. I guarantee you that Dabo is getting those sound bites and those clips for that week. He's getting ready for it because it felt like it was NC State Super Bowl in a way. Not to disrespect the program or anything like that or what they've been doing up there, but that was a marquee matchup for them. If they could, I don't know if they were scheduled or not. I don't exactly remember.
They did.
They definitely did.
Oh,
they definitely did.
But yeah, they're coming down to Death Valley. I'm super excited about that. Devin Leary versus DJ Uyunglele, going to be a super highly touted quarterback matchup. I'm pumped for it. It's going to be a revenge game, like you said, and we love those revenge games here at Clemson.
Yeah, I'm going to throw one more out there.
Right.
It's going to be kind of crazy, and this will sound crazy, but I'm going to say Boston College.
Oh, yeah. Boston College.
They get their quarterback back.
Yep. And if I'm not mistaken, it's up there, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's up there.
It's up there. So we got that crazy stadium.
Do we have a date on that? Because the Elements could certainly play. I know it's later in October, I want to say.
Yeah, I don't know right off the top of my head.
While we're waiting on that, I'm going to go ahead and sound off my game to watch, and it's going to be Wake Forest.
Yes.
Wake Forest was a program that came out of really nowhere last year with that explosive offense. The game against Clemson, I saw it two ways last year. I thought either Wake Forest's offense was going to be a little too much for Clemson, or the talent that Clemson had still on that roster would almost supersede Wake Forest and whatever they were able to do in that game. And it ended up being that second option. Clemson was able to overpower Wake Forest. Their RPO, the way they run it, it almost is too slow for Clemson's defensive line getting to the quarterback super quick. I think there were 10 sacks or 11 sacks, if I'm not mistaken, in that game. It was a bloodbath for the defensive line.
Yep.
October 8th, okay. We'll get into that in a second.
8 for Boston College.
Sam Hartman, how can he replicate that success from 2021? How does Wake Forest replicate that success as an offense and as a program? That's game 4. I see that as the first big test for Clemson following what should be 3 wins in Georgia Tech, Louisiana Tech, and Furman, for sure. And now October 8th, okay. I don't know if the elements will necessarily play a factor because last time Clemson was in Boston College, I think it was pretty cold.
Yeah.
It got to that, they had game day up there too, which was pretty fascinating. So yeah, I'm excited about.
And if I'm not mistaken, isn't it the red bandana game?
Should be. So there'll be a lot of emotion too with that game. A lot on the line for them.
Yeah.
Super. That's going to be exciting. Jakovic is going to be a heck of a quarterback in the ACC for sure.
But as we all can admit, every game is going to be important for this team because after last year, everybody says we're down. Everybody says, well, you only won 10 games. You know, you're falling down. Half the year you spent not even in the top 25. So Clemson has to go out and they have to push people around. They got to slap them in the mouth and they got to get back their intensity. Yeah. And it's not saying the defense, the offense is what I'm really talking about. The offense is the one that needs to get out there, slap people around, and not get pushed around like they did last year. Now, like we've already talked about, there was a lot of things that happened last year. Offensive line only had 3 games where the same group was together. Other than that, everybody was in different positions and they was not in their position that they were normally in. So it was a very rough time for Clemson last year. But you know what? It's like Dabo said, no excuses. You know what? It makes you appreciate the wins more when you go through a season like we went through last year. You're not guaranteed to win 12, 13, 15 games a year like a lot of people are accustomed to now. You've got to understand that everybody's getting better. Everybody's coming at you with their best. Clemson gets everybody's best because they know that's the top team in the ACC. So last year, everybody gave us their best, and a couple of them slapped us around, and they made it, you know, they got what they needed from us, and that was a win. And, you know, we've got to get back that intensity. We've got to get back to being the guys that go out there, and you know what? You might be just a little bigger than us, but you know what? We're going to be more finesse. We're going to make sure that we push you in the right spots to get our running backs in the right holes and the wide receivers open, and also cover those wide receivers coming out with your defensive backs. Make sure you get to the quarterback. Don't miss the holes and stop the running backs coming. I mean, there's so much that we got to do this year, and a lot of people, as we know, are looking at our new coordinators. Oh, well, you stayed in-house. Oh, Lois me. I mean, how many times have we heard that Brandon Streeter has not developed a quarterback? But yet, we have had legendary quarterbacks. Yes, they're legendary, but you know what? Trevor Lawrence has said in Jags camp, not at Clemson. I mean, he said at Clemson, but he said at Jags camp that Brandon Streeter taught him so much how to be a quarterback and how to become a better quarterback. And that's something that you got to have. Just because they wouldn't, as we call generational quarterbacks.
Yeah, generational, like you're saying?
Yeah, that's something that we've got to be ready for this year. We've got to go in and be more intense this year at every position.
I think that having a year like last year is almost a blessing in disguise because it gives you that extra edge, it gives you that extra motivation. Because you could be 6-0, 7-0 down the road, and you kind of get into this routine, you get in this false sense of security, like, hey, we just do what we got to do. We're going to be fine. And not notice that, hey, Boston College comes down the road. They're improving. They got their quarterback back. They're establishing a culture. Hey, Sam Hartman's coming into town. He's one of the top quarterbacks in the conference. Hey, Miami's coming back to town. Oh, they're pretty good. Tyler Van Dyke, future first-round pick. They're coming to town. They're pretty good. So Clemson has to, like you said, rebuild that intensity, almost get that mantra of back when we were, not saying like back in this kind of day or whatever, but there was a time where Clemson took them about a quarter or two to get things done, and they had the backups in. Not saying we need to necessarily get back to that level because it's just a little unrealistic, but having that edge to you.
What's back in the day for you?
Well, I'm a little bit of a youngster here, so it might be like a couple of years from now. I don't know if I ever earned the right to say back in the day.
Hey, I remember when Moses threw the first fade. So I'm an old man in this, so I can tell you right now, what we're seeing out of Clemson is something we have never seen out of Clemson. In the last, I'd say 20 years, Clemson has really started to turn around. Since he's been here, he's been on here almost what, 20 years, 15 years now.
He's the receivers coach in 2002, I believe. Is when
Yeah, so he's been here at Clemson almost 20 years. He's been a great part of the university. Bringing in Brent Venables was great for this college. He gave us a new intensity coming out from Oklahoma, and Dabo, when he got these two coordinators, the one thing I heard is he went to his team and said, "This is what I'm going to do," and everybody on the team said, "Yes, that's what we really was hoping you would do." He kept it in-house. The players know Goodwin, and they know what he's about. The players know Streeter. They know what he's about. All best of luck to Tony Elliott up in Virginia. Best of luck to Brent Venables in Oklahoma, and the coaches that they took from our staff to go help them. I think we're in good shape. And what did we do? We went out and got Eason. And what did Eason do? The number one, I think it's the number one defensive line class coming into this year right now.
Yeah. And I think it's like number 3 recruiter.
Yeah, number 3 recruiter. So, I mean, Eason has done a great job, and that's not saying that Con and Goodwin didn't have anything to do with it, but he has done a great job since being at Clemson, and he knows what it is to be a defensive lineman. He's been in the NFL. He's been at Clemson. He's been under great defensive coordinators. So I think that this is something we had to have at Clemson.
Yeah, there's something that I think I will admit, I'm going to put my hand up. I was one of the detractors. I'm like, why are we doing this? Why aren't we thinking a little more creative? But the more I thought about it, the more I thought this familiarity, especially after last year, we continue to mention on this show, continuity, injuries, people running the wrong routes, running the wrong places, getting guys that can come in and say, hey, I know what we're supposed to be. I know where that spot's supposed to be. I know that this package is supposed to be played in this scenario. Having that familiarity for the team and for the players is going to be super impactful. It's going to be super important. So Streeter can go in, like at the Cheez-It Bowl, and they can pick up where they left off. There's not a new guy that has to come in and get this big introductory press conference in January. They can get to work immediately. They can recruit immediately. Goodwin and Eason, like you guys said, can come in and make that impact. And I love Nate Eason. He is one of the most energetic guys I want to play for.
Yeah.
If I was a defensive lineman, I'd be like, hey, I want to sign up for Clemson.
Just watching his interviews at media days, at Clemson media days, just the energy he was bringing and stuff like that. I thought it was awesome.
And everybody was around him. I mean, he brought I felt bad for the two coaches that was there with him at the same time because everybody went to Nick Eason's table. But, everybody wants to know what he did to get this class because we love Brent Venables. And what Venables did bring in Christian Wilkins and Cleveland Farrell and all those guys in was unbelievable. But look at the class we got coming in. Peter Woods. I mean, you look at that and you go, man, we've got a great future here at Clemson. It's not do or die this year in order to get a class. We got a great class coming in. We got a great class coming in the following year. And 2024 is already starting to look good based on what I'm seeing in the offers and the way guys are coming in. I mean, Lagway loves Clemson. That's not saying we're not saying we're getting Lagway, but at the same time, Lagway really loved Clemson, and I know a lot of players say things like that when they leave a college. So we're not trying to push the envelope, but at the same time, you hear the same thing: family atmosphere. When I came, I felt like I was wanted, like I was a part of the team. Whereas right now, I'm hearing things from a couple of high-ranked colleges that you just wouldn't believe about. Trips. Hey, they're a great college, but man, I just had the worst trip when I went up there. I mean, that's things that you don't want to hear when you're a Clemson Tiger.
You don't hear.
Yeah.
You don't hear that.
Yeah. I would want to be treated like royalty, especially the way they treat these guys up here, the all-in cookout, stuff like that. I'm going to go to a cookout, especially if I'm a good football. I love those cookouts, especially when I was playing football. We would have these little barbecues before games. We had these team dinners. I'm sure it compares nothing to the all-in cookout for Clemson, but it felt like it was this big event. We felt like we were being celebrated as players. We didn't win much, but we were being celebrated for sure. I want to talk to you, Jay. You brought it up to my attention. your crazy B question, your 11 players. Do you want to kind of explain that and what?
Yeah, to a couple people that are in here now, I've also posted it out there. I threw a crazy B question out there because, you know, crazy B always comes up with the craziest questions. If you could pick 11 players in your team's past, in other words, if you're a Georgia fan, you'd pick 11 Georgia players. If you're Clemson, you pick 11 Clemson players. I want to know what your 11 would be. And the first person we got some people on Twitter that I'm gonna bring up. Anthony, are you there, buddy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, you got your 11?
Yeah, I got 11. I think I got 11 so far.
Go ahead and give it to us.
Well, I got 10. I'm sorry. I got 10. I'm gonna give it to you. I got Christian Wilkins. I got Isaiah Simmons. I got T. Higgins. I got Brian Dawkins. Travis Etienne. Spiller. Sammy Watkins. Deshaun Watson. And did I say Sammy Watkins? No, I got Sammy Watkins. And I'm going to go with Trevor Lawrence as my 11.
All right, it sounds like a great pairing. Nurse, I understand you got us an LSU perspective. Who's your 11?
I have to wait for
You there, Nurse? Oh, hey, Anthony, bring Bank up. I think he wants to give us his 11.
Now we gotta get the guys in for the Twitter space.
Yeah, we got guys coming in on Twitter, just so you guys know. And if you want to, just so you know, you can leave your top 11 in the comments below on Facebook and YouTube.
Yeah, we're on YouTube and Twitter.
Yeah, YouTube, Twitter, and
Facebook.
So leave comments of your top 11 below.
Yeah,
be awesome.
This is guys in. You guys can answer questions. You get the crazy B question. It's like it comes up with something new. We were talking about playoff teams. We were talking about conferences. Whatever is almost relevant to what we're talking about during the show or what's relevant in the sports world, we're going to be talking about it and also bring a little bit of a fun spin on it. And that's what we do here at Tiger Talk Tuesdays.
All right, let's go to Bank and get his top 11 players. If you were starting a team, Bank, what would be the 11 you would start with?
Let's see. Matthew Stafford.
This is Georgia. Okay.
Yeah, Georgia.
Matthew Stafford, Garrison Hurst, Terrence Edwards, Brock Bowers, Andrew Thomas.
That was good.
Yep, Andrew Thomas.
Good dude.
Let's see, Geno Atkins.
Wow.
Champ Bailey.
Yep.
Another
Champ
Hall of
Bailey.
Famer.
Yep, Hall of Famer.
Wow.
How many is that?
That's 7.
7. Okay. More recently, probably Roquan Smith.
Didn't Pittsburgh have a wide receiver that was Georgia, used to be for Georgia?
George Pickens, or is it we talking about somebody else? Oh, they're talking about somebody else, I think.
Yeah, Hall of Famer. Georgia wide receiver. I can't remember, is it Haynes or Hines?
Mike Ward?
No.
Mike Ward, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
go me. Here we go.
Yep.
It's a tough one.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I
You
mean,
brought it today, man.
he's a Georgia fan and got just 9. I mean, there's so many great Georgia players
Yeah,
as we
it's
all
tough.
know.
I think if Nurse is going to do an LSU one, she just picked the 2020 team that won the national championship.
Yeah. No, I think she's went back a little further. You got 2 more, Bank?
Maybe an easy one for sure. But
Two more. I'll go Terrell Davis.
Yeah.
Terrell Davis, yeah.
Jesus, this is very hurting. I got 2 running backs already.
I didn't really formally. I just kind of picked some players. I was like,
What about a tight end?
Picking all the younger teams.
Got Brock Bowers already.
All right.
Yeah, that was letting me in on the questions.
Oh, how about David Andrews?
Oh, David Andrews. All right. I remember David Andrews. All right, Nurse. LSU. Are we going to pick the whole 2019 team?
Yeah, right. And I didn't really go completely, probably a whole team like that. I just kind of picked 11 players because I wasn't really sure how you wanted to do it.
You can do it any way, all offense, all defense, or mix.
I think I have. I mean, I didn't. Let's see. I'll just name I'll just name who I got. So I did pick Joe Burrow, obviously, for obvious reasons. And I think I have a pretty rounded group here. So I've got Andrew Whitworth, Patrick Peterson,
Yes.
Michael Clayton. I got Michael Clayton.
Wow.
I got Zach Von Rosenberg, so I got a Fletcher in there.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
The punters are getting love.
Yeah. Jarvis Landry.
Yep.
So I got him. And I also have OBJ, so there's 2 wide receivers. I got Leonard Fournette, so there's a running back. Glenn Dorsey.
Oh, man, I
There's a
forgot about him.
defensive tackle. Quan Alexander, so there's an offensive linebacker. Jamal Adams.
Wow. That is an all-star
That's pretty
group there.
well-
Did she mention Tyron Matthew?
It's not.
Yeah, I didn't even hear Tyron Matthew. I figured the Honey Badger would have been in that list.
Yeah, I really, it's tough. Like, it's hard to name 11. I could have named 22.
Could have named all 22 starters on the national championship team.
Exactly. Well, now it's time for the Crazy B version.
Okay.
And as you know, I just go off script. I don't go by. I guarantee you will not hear Trevor Lawrence. I guarantee you won't hear Deshaun Watson with me. I just do not play that game. I go old school. Now I do have some new school guys in there, but when I think of quarterbacks, I think of Woody Dantzler.
Yeah.
2,000 yards passing, 1,000 yards rushing. First ever
Saw him
quarterback to
the
do
other day.
that. He was before Michael Vick. He was the Michael Vick before Michael Vick. And Woody Dantzler was a great quarterback. He ended up being, when he got in the NFL, being a punt returner, wide receiver.
Yeah.
But I tell you right now, Woody in college did with what was a patchwork offensive
game.
line. Dude, yeah, I mean, the games he did and the things he did in the pocket and outside of the pocket was unreal.
Yeah.
The second guy I have is, of course, C.J. Spiller. I mean, you can't do a top 11 without C.J. Spiller. I got to have C.J.
You get some echo.
Okay, sorry about the echo there. Next thing I got is, of course, T. Higgins, my favorite wide receiver, Clemson all time. I almost went with Youngblood from old school, but I think
Yeah.
T. Higgins was right there on my list. Next is Grady Jarrett. I mean, a 3-star defensive lineman that not a lot of people wanted,
Mhm.
and he came into Clemson, and look where he is right now, one of the highest paid defensive linemen there is. And other than Aaron Donald, I don't think anybody's better than Grady Jarrett. Aaron Donald's the greatest. I mean, let's just face it. But Grady Jarrett's top. Mackenzie Alexander.
Good one.
Yeah, Mackenzie Alexander, quarterback. I like him. Next was Jordan Mcfadden, this year's offensive lineman. There's just something about Jordan Mcfadden. I think this year he is going out to prove a point.
Yep.
He got pushed around by Jordan Davis in that Georgia game. We all saw it. We know what happened. But at the same time, this year he's going to make a statement, and I think it's going to be the NC State game, the game you was talking about, because he got pushed around in the NC State game too, and I think he's got a lot that he's got to prove, and he's going to make a point this year.
Who wasn't pushed around like Jordan Davis last year?
Yeah, Jordan Davis pushed everybody around.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next one is one of my favorite guys. He might not have been a great offensive lineman at Clemson, but Will Merritt.
Yeah.
Will Merritt, he's my buddy. I love him. He just his attitude is just the way he is. I love Will Merritt.
You're talking old school right there.
Old school, yeah.
Old school.
We're gonna get pretty new school.
Yeah. Christian Wilkins. You can't have a defensive line without Christian Wilkins sitting on it with Grady. Can you imagine Grady Jarrett and Christian Wilkins in the same defensive line? Yeah. And of course,
Mind blown.
of course, Anthony brought up Brian Dawkins. I mean,
Oh, dude.
Next.
You know what's funny is, so I was unpacking because I moved into a new house a couple months ago, and I pulled out my one of those jerseys, and I also had see if you can remember this guy, Wolford.
yeah, Donnell Wolford. Yes.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
we're going old school. And then I was like, you know what? I got C.J. Spiller. I need somebody to block for him.
Yeah.
And of course, my favorite guy, which I didn't put on this list, is of course Adam Joyce. I loved Adam. He was a great quarterback blocker. He might not have been the greatest running back in Clemson history, but he was definitely one that could make sure the quarterback had time, and he read the defenses great.
You know who I'd block for him? Chad Jasmine.
Yeah.
Guys like that do the little things, kind of like
Yeah.
the unnoticed stuff. Doesn't go on the stat sheet. He's not going to score those touchdowns, but he's going to be in the right spot. You're going to have the right assignment, and you can count on him every single down. He was crucial.
So my guy at running back is Embry Smith.
Yes.
Emmitt Smith's
Yeah.
supposed
Yeah.
little brother.
Yeah,
he
he was
was
the
definitely a big guy. He knocked people around. That was back when Clemson had a fullback and a running back, and that's how they I formation was one of the things they did. Or pitch, and then my last guy, Sammy Watkins. I mean, Sammy did a lot of great things here at Clemson, and he might not have had a great NFL career as of right now, but he's still having a good career in the NFL. So that's my top
You
list.
know, his little brother,
Yeah.
or not his little brother, but his little cousin was at the Davos Sweeney camp this year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but he's committed to Texas A&M.
Oh mercy, Anthony, you got a question real quick?
Yeah, I seen you mention, I heard you mention Mackenzie Alexander. I just wanted to touch on that. I heard Mike Reed talk about Toriano Pride and said that he was the most physical freshman, the most ready freshman since Mackenzie Alexander. As outside of Mackenzie Alexander, Toriano Pride is the most ready corner you think as a freshman.
Wow, that's saying something right there because Mackenzie was great. All right, you're next.
All right, guys. I'm the newbie here at CSN. I'm the youngster here, but my list is going to be the best. We're going to mix it up. I have a couple of the older guys in there. I was doing some research on some defensive linemen for an article that's going to go on CSN later, but William Perry is my first guy.
Yeah,
dude,
Michael Dean too.
Bring it.
The Super Bowl
Bring
shuffle. You got the iconic score of touchdown. That really, I don't know if this was necessarily inspired by William Perry in the fridge, but getting guys like Christian Wilkins there to score touchdowns as a defensive lineman, I don't know if that was like he looked at that and was like, I'm going to do that, or he just wanted to reward his guys like Dexter Lawrence and Christian Wilkins, get that fridge package in there. But the next guy is Trevor Lawrence, one of the most highly touted prospects of all time, national championship winning quarterback, 15-0. It's a tough choice between him and Deshaun Watson. Part of me wanted to pick Taj Boyd because he put us on this path that we are right now without those wins against LSU and Ohio State. I don't know if we are there where we are today. It's kind of that domino effect that showed the world that Clemson could win those big games against those big tier programs, those blue bloods in a sense.
Yeah.
My next guy is Hunter Renfro. He's not going to wow you with his physique or anything like that, but if you had a third down, you knew where to go with him the football. Local Alabama slayer. He was there in those two national championships with Deshaun Watson, where it almost appeared like he was the next coming almost.
Yeah.
It came out of nowhere. Like I was a middle schooler going, what? Who the heck is this guy? He looks just like he's got my frame, like this skinny, tiny dude. Loved it from Hunter Renfro. He's been one of my favorite players. Inspired me to continue playing high school football. Wasn't the biggest guy, but he was always he proved everybody wrong type thing. My next one is C.J. Spiller. You can't have a running back as explosive as C.J. Spiller. I know Travis Etienne, certainly you can compare the two, but C.J. Spiller to me,
he was the starter.
Yeah,
he was
the guy.
He was the guy that started 5 stars at Clemson.
Yep.
Yeah.
The guy.
The guy. My next guy is Christian Wilkins. If I'm going to start a team with 11 players, I need to get a guy that is going to establish a culture with Christian Wilkins. Not just that he's a fantastic player, but he's always going to be a positive presence in my locker room. He's going to be a positive presence on the field. Not going to do anything off the field that makes me worried or upset, being like, oh, I need to watch this guy. He's always going to be in the right spot. He's always going to be in the right place.
Academic Heisman too.
Yeah. Vic Beasley is my next guy.
Really
love him.
Big Vic.
Made a huge impact on the Falcons. I believe he was a defensive player of the year in that year they went to the Super Bowl, if I'm not mistaken. He was insane. I don't think he's currently on a team.
Let's don't bring up that Super Bowl.
yeah, that Super Bowl.
I may want to. I don't know. It may come up later. But Vic Beasley was also super impactful at Clemson. You don't talk about defensive line then at Clemson without talking about Vic Beasley, guys like him that made a huge impact for the program.
Sure did.
Weapon X is on my list. I couldn't leave Brian Dawkins off of this list.
Oh, yes.
He was everywhere. The highlights of him, my favorite thing, not necessarily at Clemson, but his entrance with the Philadelphia Eagles, him coming out and screaming like a maniac. I would be terrified if I was a receiver and I was there like, hey, go run a seam. Brian Dawkins would be there. I'm like, I'm going to change this one to maybe the one on the sideline.
That's the crocodile. You bring him in a little bit. You don't want to get hit so bad.
Yeah. My next one's Leon Kirkland. I brought in some other old school guys. It can't be getting all the
1990s old school. I love it.
I'm on board for that, man. You got to give me some slack. The next one is Mitch Hyatt, one of the best offensive linemen at Clemson.
Yeah.
Anchor.
Yeah.
I forgot about Mitch.
I was doing some reading. I was like, I have to include a couple offensive linemen on this list. And Mitch Hyatt was one that I grew up watching. a guy that was there for 16 to 18, started every single game. He was a force. I don't. He didn't necessarily play on the NFL, but he was a guy at Clemson you could always count on. There was shots in 2016, 2018, always that anchor, and I think Jordan Mcfadden's now taken to that spot.
Yep.
My next one is Sammy Watkins. There's tons of moments, the games that I went to, Georgia, the slant that he caught from Taj Boyd and just gone.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Taj Boyd could give him a screen, a slant, a go, anything. Watkins would take it to the house. He was one of the most electric receivers. I remember when Hopkins went down in LSU. That was one of my first games as a Clemson Tiger guy. And Sammy Watkins was the one that Taj Boyd was counting on. That 4th and 16, iconic stuff. There was a lot of great things about that. John Simpson is my next guy. Another one of the. Yeah. Now with the Raiders, making a nice name for himself.
Clemson West.
Yeah. Love that stuff. Clemson West.
Yeah.
Those are my 11 players. Any critiques or anything like that for you guys? Did I include enough of the?
I think you've got a great list. A couple players I've forgotten about. Now, Clif, I know I didn't get a chance to see you. Actually, I looked and I did send you one, but I sent it late, so you were doing so much for us.
I was doing so much, getting graphics.
So give us an idea, just a couple players.
So I am going to say Taj Boyd.
Yeah.
There we go.
And I was at the Ohio State game where he's little Mr. like, pick off. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And let's see, Donnell Walford.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna steal some because
Just some.
yeah, I like
some.
some Sammy Watkins. I like some William Perry. I'm gonna also throw out CJ Spiller because
Why not?
why not, right? And if you're gonna get somebody to block for him, I know Chad Jasmine was a running back, but he's a big old dude. You can put him at fullback. And but I like William Perry.
Yep.
But
Michael Dean.
yeah, the brothers, man.
The brothers.
The brothers.
Brothers of
And,
Destruction. The
I
first
started-
version.
What I didn't include,
Yes,
but
sir.
I think Anthony had it on was Isaiah Simmons. Just the.
Oh, yeah.
I think
Isaiah
that
Simmons.
Yes.
we're going to get to see that potentially with multiple guys. Like you got Barrett Carter, you got Trent Simpson, guys like those who are incredibly quick and almost play like so many different. Yeah, McCluba, like you mentioned, guys that can play almost every single position on the field and do so many different things. We had Isaiah Simmons, Ohio State game, has a big interception where he's literally playing safety, but he's listed as a linebacker. Stuff like that was super impactful for the Clemson program. Do we have any other guys?
Yeah, Scott just came on, and Scott, I think you got your 11 right from Georgia. I know you wasn't here when Bank made his 11, so I want to get your version of 11, and we'll Anthony, if you bring Brian up, we'll get him next.
Absolutely. So you're just to confirm, this is on offense, 11 personnel that fit our standard team, right?
No, it can be any players from the past, offense, defense. It's just if you were starting a team, pick 11 players you'd want to start with from Georgia.
If I just wanted to start a team, oh man, well I got to start with 4 right off the bat. Ty Gurley, Chubb, and on the defensive side, Roquan Smith and Kobe D. I think those guys are such leaders in their fields and area that you start off, you get that vocal leadership you need, and also you get the elite talent you need.
It's true.
If I wanted to go, more on the defensive trenches, obviously Jordan Davis is another number one. I think Ojolari being on the edge is critical. I think he's another great player that, and to be fair, not anything against Mark Rigg. I can go up and have a list of Kirby talent on, pretty much the whole defensive side. The 2 corners, surprisingly, both 3 stars. 4 and 3 stars. Eric Stokes on one, DeAndre Baker on the other.
Okay. And DeAndre Baker I remember him really good.
Oh yeah, they're both elite in college. And also, man, Stokes is elite in the NFL. Now we'll go to the Rick era. Back to the Rick era. Matthew Stafford at quarterback.
Yep, Bank had Stafford at quarterback also.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to give one that's currently playing. I think Brock Bowers at tight end is so elite, especially for what his upside is. You got to have him there.
You got one more.
It's hard.
I know it's hard with so many great players.
So I'm going to put George Pickens out there.
All right, I hear you. All right, we got next person, Brian. You got your 11 players. If you started, then who's your team also?
Are you talking to me?
Yes, sir.
I'm a huge Tiger fan.
All right, so who's your 11 players that you would bring if you start a team? Okay.
And
The Honey Badger was great.
I go with Clyde Edwards, Elam.
Okay.
And I go with Jamal Chase and Travis Landry.
Okay.
And quarterback, I go with Joe Burrow.
That's it.
I'm surprised with LSU, more people are not saying Tommy Hudson.
Well, the other quarterback that was there, what's his name? They went to the championship in 2007.
Matt Flynn?
Flynn.
Yeah, Matt Flynn.
He was
Flynn
good.
was a good quarterback. I pick him. He was a good one.
All right, you got 4 more.
4 more. Jamal Adams.
Yep.
Let's see. I have to go with I know he's old and all, and he was good, but I have to go with Dalton Eager.
Oh, yeah. Dalton Hilliard. Heck yeah. That's not, hey, forget the old, forget that he's old. The fact that what he did at LSU.
I have to go with Dalton Eager because, he was good. He was even good when he played for the Saints, too.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I have to go with Dalton Eager. And, what I got? 1 more?
2 more.
2 more? I had to go with the field goal kicker, York.
Oh, yeah.
He was sniper.
Yeah, lights out when he came in the game.
Oh, yeah, he was running the bank. You could go to the bank on whenever he came in.
You know, I see both Nurse and Brian picked special teams players. None of us thought about
Special
that.
teams getting some love.
Yeah.
Should shout out Captain Zero for his heroics at the LSU Chick-fil-A Bowl.
And
All right,
BT
Brian.
Connor, BT
BT,
Connor.
I was getting to it.
Hey, you got 1 more, Brian. Yep.
It's a tough one.
I'm trying to think.
You got a running back that's playing in Tampa Bay. There you go.
There you go. There you go.
I still can't get over that game against Auburn when he ran over that guy for Auburn and knocked him back about 10 yards. I still got that game in my mind where he just like a bulldozer. He just came there and knocked that guy about 10 yards backwards. That was unbelievable. I can't get over that game.
Yeah.
That would be my love.
Well, we appreciate you coming on with us tonight, Brian. I'm going to pause everybody for a second. If you cut your mics off, we're going to go back to one of our sponsors tonight. It's going to be Arden's Bar and Grill.
Yeah, buddy. We got
Oh,
some
yeah,
food
they
here.
brought us some food, so we definitely want to thank you for coming on board. Also,
We got Ingles and we got a Tiger. As you can see right here, behind the little banner right there, we have a lot of all our sponsors over there.
Somebody help me up here.
Yeah.
I'm struggling here getting this food open. I'm hungry.
yep, we got
Oh,
some
yeah.
great sponsors that are coming on. We'll be coming to you live from Arden's Bar and Grill starting in 2 weeks, so that's something else that's going to be great. You can check us out on YouTube on the Clemson Sports.
Some wings.
Clemson Sports News.
Yeah, buddy.
We got some wings going on,
All
folks.
right, let's show them all. Show them all.
Yeah, we're showing off. If
Yeah.
you're on YouTube, you can see them. Also, we're on Facebook Live and we're on
Thanks.
Twitter. So
Yeah.
we are going to enjoy this food. Something else that, Clif's already diving into it.
Yeah.
Something that we just want to say is thank
Wow.
you to all of you that have come on here tonight and have been talking with us, giving us your ideas. We're going to be a show that's going to bring the fans, regardless of what team you are with. We're going to bring you to the show with us. We want to hear your views, whether it be Clemson or another team. But we are a Clemson-focused team. Sports show. Yeah. Sorry, the smell from the food is crazy.
It's distracting you.
It's distracting. It's very distracting.
Good.
So we just want to thank everybody that's coming in tonight. We're not leaving quite yet. We still got some more things we want to go over. What do you want to talk about?
I think I got everything that I've covered. I think we're good.
One thing we want to go over is we have been able to get some news from CSN sources that we are in very good shape with a wide receiver, which we can't name. Also, there is a cornerback, which we can't name. And we are hopefully going to be closing in on both of them in the next week or two. So be watching in.
Be on the lookout.
Yep, and there's also another one that we can't mention at this moment. We got 3 of them, so we'll be throwing out clues, and y'all can figure it out for yourself. As you know, Clemson has got offers out there. I'll just tell you, we got a defensive lineman that we're looking at also that is a good, what they call a silent commit.
Yeah.
We hear that all the time. So look for CSN to be bringing you the news as it hits, and we will keep you up to date on that.
I want to mention something.
Yes.
Well, the food's amazing, by the way. I just want y'all to know that. From Arden's Burger and Grill, it's amazing wings. But I did an article on a baseball recruit, maybe, and his name's
Jude Watkins.
Jude Watkins.
Wascom.
And great player. Check it out on the website. So
Exactly.
and I'll be writing some more baseball articles about all the recruits that have committed. So
Streaming them from Michigan too.
yeah, a bunch of them from Michigan and
Some local talent.
yeah, some local talent too. So
So
be on the lookout for that article.
Clemson baseball is definitely going full board. We're seeing the fruits of Eric Bach, and he is bringing a lot of great talent into Clemson. And that's saying nothing about our previous coach, but this is saying that we are going to have a great team here at Clemson. And something else is, I've heard he's bringing back coach.
Really?
Mm-hmm. You know who I'm talking about?
Leggett.
Leggett.
Really?
Oh, see,
Leggett will have a position that now they haven't said what position he will have, but he will have a position with Eric's team. So that's something that Clemson fans can look at also. Also, Clemson soccer, the men's national champions, will be defending that title this year.
Yep.
They'll be starting up in the next couple of weeks. Women's soccer will be starting.
They're ranked number 25.
Yep. So
So
our Tiger soccer teams and also our men's basketball teams across seas right now. I was looking, I saw where Auburn won today versus Israel. So there's a tournament going on, and a lot of those teams are overseas playing. So, also we want to bring up the Billings article, which is on ClemsonSportsNews.com. Make sure you go read it. It's a great article. Questions were asked. We had a reporter was able to talk to him. And that's something that you wanted to go and read. Must reads on ClemsonSportsNews.com. Always go there for your first source of anything going on at Clemson.
everything's free.
Exactly. That's the
Everything's
one
free.
thing. And the Howard's Rock message board. It's free, folks. That's all you got to do is just click on read, join the discussion, make comments, tell us what you think, and then that's all we would really ask.
That's all we Jay, you got anything you guys want to add before we wrap up?
Other than
Good.
we're going to chow down on some great
The
food.
food's good.
Exactly.
I will tell you that.
Ards.
Arden's,
And we want to
Arden's Burger and Grill
Yep, Arden's Burger
Amazing.
Grill.
And Anderson.
in Anderson.
Yeah, it's a close drive here from, especially in this location at CSN Studio. We able to get it pretty quickly, get the service done fast. It was great. Arden's, please go try their food. It is fantastic for sure. And that'll be it for Tiger Talk Tuesdays. Do we have anything?
Yeah,
more
yeah.
space? Okay.
We got Anthony online. He wants to ask one more question. Go ahead, Anthony.
No, I ain't got no question. I just want to see, can you keep the space open after you close down YouTube?
Sure, we can do that.
Okay.
All right, we just want to thank you for joining us live. We'll be here every Tuesday. We'll be back here in the Clemson Sports Network studio next week. After that, we'll be at Arden's
Yep.
Bar
And-
and Grill.
Home base. Home base.
It'll be our home base.
Insurance. 5 Forks Insurance.
5 Forks Insurance.
Tim got it.
That's our
Go
guy.
see him. He's my insurance agent, and he should be yours.
Exactly.
So go see him.
All right.
5forksinsurance.com.
Thank you, Tiger fans. We appreciate you, and we're off there.
Hold.